In the big 2026, it seems like everyone has given up on humans. Ask the person next to you about their thoughts on humans, and most people would give you a cynical answer. Maybe you think this way yourself, and if you do, I'd like to gently challenge that because I was once there myself. But as I studied psychology and philosophy in university, I began to understand human beings more. It's funny because many people don't know this, but once you study psychology, you begin to understand that humans are very predictable. And if they weren't, psychology wouldn't really exist, right? Like, it wouldn't make sense. Like, why would we have psychology, which like the whole thing is that it aims to study human behavior and thought processes, if humans were like these, chaotic, unpredictable creatures that cannot be predicted or like generalized? That wouldn't make sense. It'd be a big waste of time for everybody. So psychology wouldn't exist if humans weren't predictable. So the reason why I'd like to posit that humans are good is based off of a couple of psychological references. I'll start with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which I'm sure you're familiar with. I've also brought it up a couple of times in my videos as I thought it was appropriate at the time. Essentially, Abraham Maslow argued that in order for people to live fulfilling lives, which most humans want to, you need to self-transcend. Now, what does self-transcendence mean exactly? It means to use your accumulated skills, talent, and knowledge to help your friends, family, community, and society. In other words, if you want to live a fulfilling life, you need to be a good person. It makes us happy to be valuable members of society. Now, Abraham Maslow's theory isn't some niche or obscure model. It's a theory that is often pitched by universities and therapists. This means that most people that study psychology agree with it, and therefore psychology argues that humans are wired to be good. This also makes sense with evolutionary psychology. See, most evolutionary psychologists explain that humans had to work together to survive. No duh. But this means that humans were selective on who they choose to mate with. Members of settlements who were altruistic and brought food to the group had access to reproduction. And members who would be considered like psychopaths or sociopaths or overall bad actors of a clan would be banished. This is exactly why pathologies like psychopathy are so rare. Essentially, they were bred out of existence. In fact, the amount of psychopaths that live in our population is literally less than 2%. Please look it up. Although I'm not implying that only psychopaths are the ones that are capable of harm, the point is that even throughout our earliest ancestors, there were strong incentives to reproduce with members who were like a net benefit to the settlement, right? But yeah, from an evolutionary psychology perspective and a more modern perspective like Abraham Maslow's, it would seem that people are generally wired to produce and create rather to harm and destroy. Now, if that's the case, why do humans do bad things sometimes? In sociology, we learn about things like conflict theory, and it's basically conflict theory, for those who don't know, it's basically when people feel like they don't have access to resources or opportunities like financial status or other incentives, right? So some humans will act unfavorably to get what they feel they either deserve or need to advance. They do this because, after all, although people are wired to be good, there is still a biological imperative to get ahead in life so that your offsprings have the best chance at survival.